Hi guys, welcome back. It's Friday, and today we're looking at classical music. Now, we haven't really done a lot of classical at this point. I think we did Canadian brass back quite a while ago, maybe last fall or late summer. And today we're going to look at one of my favorite composers, George Frideric Handel. And this was another album I picked up in one of those impulse buys at the cash register. Usually what I call the discount bin. Not overly expensive, and while you're waiting in line, you got a chance to flip through some of these, and I found some interesting stuff, and this was one of them. And it's called The Best of Handel. Now, I've got 2 or 3 other ones I picked up, again, that were all in that same kind of discount bin over the years, and these are probably the same tunes that you find on all of them. Some are a little more extensive in one of the suites, some of the others are, I have one that's just the Messiah. But the 3, what I call the greatest hits of Handel, are included on here. We've got the Water Music Suite, Fireworks, and Messiah. Now, just to read you something on the inside here, and this is probably the most true. Firstly, over this pandemic, I've been watching a lot of free concerts on TV, and we're watching some world-renowned orchestras. But the music they're playing, man, I just don't get it. By the time the song's over, I couldn't tell you one melody from what I had heard. It reminds me a lot of some of the jazz players, the improvisers, where it's all technique, but there's no music or no heart or no message in it. Nothing sticks. And you get other improvisers that their improvisations are very melodic. They could almost be a melody on their own. And some of the riffs stick in your head. But a lot of what I'm watching now, I mean, the orchestras are very accomplished, the music is very intricate and complex, but I'm not hearing a lot of music. That's what I found with Handel. Handel's music made sense. It was always right where it should be. I mean, everything was, I call it very mathematical, but it was a great set of music, whatever he played. And in this booklet, one of the writers claims the 3 water music suites were written in order to be simple and understandable to the inexperienced listener, yet at the same time represents Handel's most extensive instrumental work. I think that's it. The music has to be accessible. What turns people off classical music is it not being accessible music sometimes. And these recordings by Handel, to me, were very accessible. They made sense. On here we've got Water Music Suite, 3 parts. We got Suite number 2 in D major, number 1 in F major, and number 3 in G major. We have a shorter, there's actually quite a bit of water music on this one. Messiah takes up quite a bit of the other. We've got 1, 2, 3, about 7 tracks of Messiah music. And then music for the Royal Fireworks, 3 different tracks. Now, some of the other albums, Fireworks dominated it. The other one, Messiah dominated. They all tend to focus around these 3 sets of music, but some of them will be a little more focused on one than the other. This one was on the water music. Now, I'm going to say, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Old Grey Whistle test. I know it was a TV show, but the premise behind it was that music executives would go to what they called the Old Greys, and these were doormen around the city that wore the gray trench coats, and they would take records that they had and play them for them, and if after 1 or 2 listens they could actually whistle some melody or some of the music back to them, they knew they had a hit. Handel, to me, would pass the Old Grey Whistle test. When I hear this, there's melodies that stick in my head. I'm whistling them, I'm singing them, I'm going over them in my mind. His music was so music-oriented and so accessible that the tunes stuck with you. And I think that's what made him different than some of the composers. Not that the other composers aren't great. I mean, a lot of them were doing some masterful music, but it didn't connect with me the same way. And certainly Handel's Messiah, an annual Christmas event. So if you get a chance, check it out. If you don't listen to a lot of classical music, I think Handel's a great place to start. And any of the compilations will feature probably the three things we talked about: water music, fireworks, and Messiah. And those are a great place to get to know George Frideric Handel. So that's it for today. Classical music, can't go wrong with Handel. And we'll see you next week. Everybody, have a safe weekend. Stay home, stay safe, wear your mask, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks for stopping by.